Hello there. This is Wild Sun Studio and my name is Robinson. And I made a paper cut for my sign. I'm not sure I'm totally in love with it, so I haven't glued it down. But anyway, I thought I would show you. So today I would like to talk about, because I was talking to you before about this, about all the different kinds of papers one can use to make paper cuts. Really, you can use so many things. Just, fold it up 3 times or 4 times, and you can make paper cuts out of almost anything. This is tracing paper. And I wanted to show you, because, wait a minute, I should use something a little darker. There, you can see this. So this is tracing paper. Let's see, you can see how well you can see through it. One of the things that's kind of interesting about tracing papers, no matter how much I ironed this, you would always see those little white lines, sort of a thing. I don't know, actually that shows up on the origami paper too. So I wanted to show you that, and I wanted to show you some other possibilities. This is a magazine, a catalog from Marketplace, whose clothes I like very much. And I was thinking, this is actually the cover, which is a little bit heavier than the inside pages. The inside pages would be better. The thing is that the inside pages are sort of, they're dark and then they're light and then they've got color, and it's a little bit harder to find an all-over pattern. So we'll try using this mostly dark part of the woman's jacket. So we're folding this up. I folded it in a triangle first, just because I was working with a rectangular piece of paper and I wanted to make sure of the size. Start with a mostly square paper. So here's my third fold. The front half goes to the front, and the back half goes to the back. And we want to kind of squish the center fold first, so we make sure that's a nice, neat fold. And then the back of your fingernail will sharpen up all of those creases. I think I'm just going to do these 3 folds because this paper is a little bit heavier. So right here you can see all of the different layers. So I'm going to neaten that up. And they've got a zigzag going here. What if we played with that? This is actually the back of the front cover. So, I don't know, we'll have to look at both sides when I get this cut. Let's go. And now I'll do a cut that echoes that zigzag I just cut. And echo. I think I'm going to keep that straight across there. What would happen if I did this? Kind of do another echo. do a mandorla because I love those. And then let's echo the mandorla. A mandorla is the name of the space that you get. I want to draw this for you. I'm trying to think about drawing and cutting at the same time. It's very interesting in my brain at this minute. So let me find a nice pen. Get one pen. So if you draw, let's see, can you see me? Yes, you can. So if you draw a circle, and then you draw another circle that intersects the first circle, this shape right here is called a mandorla. And, ooh, shaky, A-N-D-O-R-L-A. Mandorla. I love the name, and I really like the shape. I don't know why. All right, here we go. So let's see, can you see this? What if we had the yellow pad back? There, so there's half of the mandorla. There's an echo shape to the mandorla. What if we do, you know how I keep saying that I really like it when there's something cut out of the center of a paper cut? So what if we do an echo that comes up out of the center? That'll be sort of an interesting star shape, I think. Something needs to happen up here, and it needs to make the roundishy shapes connect with the straight lines. So what if we do straight along the top and kind of curvy above the mandorla? Let's see if that works. There we go. Let's see if we like that. Then let's do one more. And again, I'll go curvy around to echo the curvy shapes. And then I'll come in here and do a fun echo of the zigzag straight line shapes. Okay. You know what? I'm going to get, what did I do? Oh, there it is. Pad of tracing paper, because that'll help us really see this. All right, my desk is falling apart. All right, ready? You can unfold. Let's go this way. This is the first folding. Paper's kind of sticking, and this is the thing that I like to do, is to unfold things so that when we get to the end, we are most clear as to what we have cut. So we're just sort of repressing those folds that we so carefully made a minute ago. Okay, so this is the front of the cover, the woman's jacket. Let's see, yeah, there's her neck, and there's the little bouquet of flowers. It comes out really nicely. So that's free junk mail. Yay! All right, let's see what else we can cut. So I use this as a file folder. This is wrapping paper. It's really heavy, thick wrapping paper. Isn't that pretty? And there's a tear. I must have stuck some tape along that. But let's see what we can have happen. somehow left my scissors next to a magnet or something that was magnetized, and now this is really silly. They hold on to they've been magnetized. Ridiculous. So because there's this tear right here, I'm gonna, yeah, this is as thick as you'd want to go. This is 4 folds. I might have more luck if I had tried doing 3. Now they tell me. Oh well. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, this is definitely kind of challenging. That's what it is. It's kind of challenging. I think I'm going to cut off the top here. Not the most even of cuts. Yeah, see, you get into a little bit thicker paper, and let's give the top some interest. You get into thicker paper, and then when you fold it so many times, it gets harder and harder. And also, I don't know if you can tell this, but as I'm cutting, let's see if these little scissors are sharper. And yeah, to get all the way into the corner like that. Boy, it's really taking quite a bit of finger strength. Yeah, there are a couple things wrong with doing this. So one is it takes a lot of strength, and you need really sharp scissors to get into that corner like that. These are not so sharp, and the sharpness doesn't go all the way to the point. And because it takes so much effort to cut, it's shimmying the papers off center from each other. So that's a bad thing, because then on our way around the paper cut, you'll get kind of a smaller triangle here and a bigger triangle here. Yes, but still, it's pretty paper, and I just wanted to try. Ooh, look what a mess I made here. All right, let's see if we can clean that up. Wowza. Yeah, I think if you're going to use thicker paper, we definitely need to only fold it 3 times. So let's make really big cuts. All the way to the end. Very challenging. I had no idea this is going to be a bit of a video. I mean, it's going to take a while. Two-handed cuts. Yep, this is a little thick. But still, it's fun. Oh, I should have brought you a brown paper bag. Brown paper bags are fun to cut. And as long as you keep... Yeah, I guess that's the other trick with heavier paper, is that as long as you keep the cuts pretty big, it makes it a little easier to get nice, even cuts. So these are pretty small cuts for a... Let's do this. It's a little close there to the other cut. Okay, see what we've got here. This could be pretty. Wait a minute. Last piece. It's kind of pretty, and you're getting lots of shine on the golden parts. This is also going to be really big, and we're not going to get it all in the screen at the same time. But you get the gist of what we're doing here. Just testing out different kinds of papers for paper cuts and seeing what works and what pleases you. That's the most important thing. And what fits the bill, what works for what you're decorating. It's not quite as unfolded beautifully as some of the others. So that's interesting. It's interesting to note how these two pretty contrasting colors, the red is a matte red and the gold is a very shiny gold. Oh, there's some black in there too, and that helps define the edges. But our eyes have a lot to look at between the edge, the black edge between the gold and the red, and the two colors and the shapes. So I wanted to do this for you so that you can see how effective that is or not. So I have here some tissue paper. Talk about one side and then the other of a coin. This, of course, is very, very skinny, thin paper. So folding this 4 times, whoops, not a great fold. Let's try that again. So folding this 4 times will not be hard at all, and it won't be hard to cut. So finger on the middle. There's a wrinkle in there. That'll be interesting. You can always iron paper. Most of the time I do it without the steam spray, but if you have something really wrinkly, just like with fabric, it works well to use a little steam. So if you need an extra boost, you just have to make sure, you know, when paper gets wet, it can wrinkle as it dries. You know, when you see people tea stain and coffee stain their papers, and they end up with a little depth and texture. So you wouldn't want to use so much steam in your iron when you're ironing it that that it re-wrinkles the paper. That would kind of destroy the point. Yeah, I'm trying to talk and cut at the same time using 2 sides of my brain in the opposite direction. It's kind of fun using scissors that are actually sharp. But I love my big black scissors. The first book that I ever wrote, it's a book called Nanny. I should show it to you sometime. I will. That's on the books. I cut, it's a paper cut book, a silhouette book, and I cut it entirely with these big black scissors, and they've just been my friends for, I don't know, almost 30 years, I think. I love them, and I really need to go find somebody who will sharpen them for me and maybe tighten up the screw. There used to be a hardware store near me that did that, and then they stopped doing that. Oh, right, that was another town too, so. I used to work for this totally fab store, Coyote Moon, in Belfast, Maine. And my really generous, awesome boss, the best boss I've ever had in my life, she would let me make tissue paper cutouts and put them in the window. They were very beautiful, and in my opinion, she was correct to let me do that. But she was also very generous to let me goof around on the slow nights. Back then, they had slow nights. I think Coyote Moon is now such a popular store that they don't have silly things like slow nights anymore. It's a really wonderful boutique store. They have the most gorgeous clothing. And I was really skinny back then, and I fit into everything. And I was really beautiful. Not like I'm not beautiful now, just it's different. And it's 30 years later. So I'm crone beautiful. Which actually is awesome because it comes with crone wisdom. Crone beauty and crone wisdom go together. And crone wisdom is just fantastic. Oh, it's really fun being a thinking human when we have enough life experience behind us to actually get that thinking done. Ooh, that was very close. I'm going to have to open this one very, very carefully. Pay attention. Let's put a nice star in the middle. Okay. We open it up. Oh, tissue paper. While I was cutting the black tissue paper surrounding my title page, I was remembering what a fussy thing it is to to work with tissue paper. It's actually very easy to unfold this and warm up these folds between my fingers and unfold them and make them flat. So that's very easy because this paper is so thin. But where are we going here? Talk to me, talk to me. Oh, but see how it's just totally wiggling out from between my fingers. And you can't kind of pull it the way I could with that golden red wrapping paper because you can tear it very easily, and that would completely wreck the whole point of working so hard on a paper cut. Oh, I want to go fast because I don't want you to be bored, but on the other hand, this is art, and this is art meditation, and we can take our time. Yeah, when you're with yourself, you can... Ooh, look, we did not cut very carefully above at the top. Yes, but anyway, to get myself in the habit of finishing my sentences, when you're with yourself, you can take your time and let your thoughts tell you how your day's going, and imagine how you would like it to go from here. And we can... Oh, this is another one of the things I've been learning, to keep a running list, either actually, like in a journal, like, oh, good, another excuse to make a journal, or just in your head of all the things that are really pretty. I often can look outside and see the world around our house. Oops. Come on. And this summer was a very beautiful summer in the Northeast, just so green and lush, and I was loving it. I was born in the summer, so I've always felt this deep affection for the colors and patterns and shapes and lushness of the summer. And now it's fall, and I'm not having as great a time with the colors as many of my friends do. Look at this. Isn't that pretty? You know what? We should get rid of all this other stuff so that everything you're looking at is just pretty, pretty. Sorry I don't have a bigger weight page for you. Ooh, I do have a bigger weight page. So by the way, kind of letting a paper cut fall is sometimes easier than actually picking it up. There. So this is newsprint, and this video is long enough, so I'm not going to cut the newsprint, but I want to show you with what I did just as an option. So I wrote all kinds of things all over this paper, and then the idea is that maybe I'll cut this and put it up on my Instagram, and you can see it there. And then you can fold it and cut it, and that would be cool. You can also use, you know, an old novel or an old book, and I did that before I sat down to make the video, and I will show you what that looks like. I was saying in the last video, paper cut video, that you really can use anything. You can even use newspaper, which again is semi-free, depending on which newspaper you're reading. And these aren't being quite as flat as I want, but you get the idea. I mean, that's kind of cool. And I also wanted to show you, this is this compostable, certified, unbleached, totally chlorine-free parchment baking paper. So it's brown, and it's just a pretty color. And I was thinking that this would make, especially if you like those like olden books, you use tea-stained paper. Well, actually, maybe this wouldn't show up so well on tea-stained paper, but you get the idea. You can you could use this lovely, I mean, brown tissue would work too. And I have to say that this parchment paper is really slippery, so that might make it a sort of a pain to cut, but you could always work from the inner point out and use the clothespins to keep the paper from wiggling around too much. Anyway, yeah, it's very shiny and slippery. So let's bring back a pretty one, and we will close out. It's been lovely to spend some time with you again today, and I wish you a lot of beauty in your life, and I really hope that you are the one who actively puts beauty in your life. All right, I'll see you later. Bye.